Hori thinks about how so much has happened, and every day was different from one another. Of course, not all memories can be remembered, as some fade away while others retain their colors. Such a memory is this class trip to Kyoto. Yuki is overly excited while Toru tries to calm her down and gets compensated for his maturity by a smack on his head from Yuki. The lovebirds Miyamura and Hori talk about how it's Yuki's first time in Kyoto, whereas Hori came here once before when she was in middle school. Both are excited for this trip, however. Miyamura slows down while walking, hinting that something is bothering him. Before he could put his worries into words, Hori asks how he is going to take a bath with all the boys at night. To keep his tattoos a secret, Miyamura has decided not to shower this entire trip. Girls' rooms have attached baths. However, boys will head to the public bath. Instead of using changing rooms, Miyama has planned to change in toilets. Now both of them are thinking the same thing. Will Miyamura be able to enjoy this trip? They are walking towards the bus when they bump into Shu, who proudly shows them the souvenirs he bought. They haven't even reached the hotel yet, and Shu is already carrying the souvenirs as well. Hori and Yuki have already settled in their room. Meanwhile, Toru and Miyamura are standing in front of their room's door, as the one with keys, Shu, is missing. Mizuchi happens to be passing by when Toru asks if he has seen Shu. Turns out, Shu entered the room before them, locked it, and fell asleep. After several yelling attempts and brutal punches at the door, Shu finally wakes up and apologizes. Now that they are in the room, Miyamura checks to see what they are scheduled to do before dinner, and it happens to be the bath time. Shu drags Miyamura to the hot springs, however. In the changing room, Miyamura starts resisting. He looks at Toru to be his savior, and Toru immediately realizes that Miyamura is resisting because of the tattoos. Toru devises a perfect cover-up for Miyamura to skip bath and tells Shu that Miyamura seems to be feeling unwell because he is on his period. Yup, top 10 anime plot twists. With an embarrassing look, Miyamura nods along, leaving Shu traumatized, and after saying goodbye to his dignity, Miyamura walks towards his room like a zombie. He runs into Hori, who asks if he is alright, and he replies that he happens to be on periods. He then tells her the whole story, to which Hori bursts into laughter. Since Yuki is out hanging with her friends, Hori offers Miyamura to use their shower. After he's done with the bath, Hori gives him her towel. Miyamura then asks if she would let any other guy use her shower as well, and if so, she shouldn't do that. Hori tells him that of course she won't. He then asks why she let him use her shower. Hori stutters and with a blushing face, tells him that it's because he is okay and he wouldn't do anything to her. Miyamura smiles, hinting that she's not quite right, and then leaves the room before Yuki comes back. Hori is now wondering if her answer was something else. Would he really have done something? The next day, Yuki calms Shu and Toru with a smack, who are getting overexcited over Maiko. Hori then asks Miyamura if he will be coming to her room for shower today as well, but Miyamura tells her there is a later slot for those who miss their bath. He didn't pay attention to it last night. Hori has now stuffed her face in her pillow as she was totally looking forward to it and feels stupid now. The next day, school trip comes to an end and Yuki shows Hori the pictures she took with her camera. As Yuki and Shu race to bus, Hori tells Miyamura that she enjoyed this trip. Miyamura says the same to her as well. At school, Remi zones out while watering the plants and instead waters Miyamura. She takes him to infirmary to help him dry off. Remi notices that Miyamura is not taking off his sweater. He even took separate bath and changed in the toilet. He also opted for marathon against swimming. She is now curious as to why he always covers his skin. I know what you're thinking. How does she know that he didn't change in front of boys? That's because Sengoku told her, okay? She then touches Miyamura's chest to see if he is a girl. Miyamura shares this experience with Toru, who is now suggesting him different uniform. That reminds them off the time when Miyamura tried Hori's middle school uniform, and unfortunately, Toru barged in his room at that time and took some mental pictures. While Toru is trying to convince Miyamura to focus more on his feminine side, Sengoku happens to overhear them. This serious debate then steers towards preferences. Toru says that girls would look better in sailor uniforms, while Miyamura vouches for blazer with a tie. They force Sengoku to choose as well, who votes for the sports attire. Then they label Sengoku as kinky, who likes girls in swimming suits. Hori hears their conversation as well, and out of all things, she only focuses on the fact that Miyamura likes blazers. Remy likes a guy who is slim but stuffs himself with layers to look healthy. To be precise, Remy really likes the student council president, Sengoku. In the counseling office, Lolicon-sensei informs that on the last day of swimming, all male students have to participate. Miyamura asks if bone fracture is enough to get out of it. They then protest over why this rule is only applied to male students. They get surprisingly enthusiastic response from the Lolicon-sensei, and now they want him to be arrested immediately. Sengoku tells him that clothes are a part of his skin, and his sensei shouldn't try to skin him alive to throw into chlorinated solution. Miyamura tells him that swimming's last day is in 4 days. However, in 4 days, his cycle will begin again. Miyamura has finally figured it out. He tells Sensei that he does not have swimming trunks. However, Sensei tells him that school will provide them. Sensei is still sad over why female students do not have such activity, but Sengoku highlights that it is because of people like him. Sengoku then prays that his right arm explodes in 4 days from fever. They finally win over Sensei when they start preferring getting beheaded instead of wearing shorts and showing their skin, so he tells them that he will inform Miss Sasaki on their behalf. During the swimming lesson, Sengoku and Miyamura are tasked with cleaning duty. PT Sensei notices these two slacking off, so he delivers them a punch on their head. Just then, Remy and Hori see them as they are heading back home. Sengoku tries to get his sandals back from Remy, but fails. The other boys hear a female voice and start lusting over Remy's cuteness, so Sengoku throws these perverts back into water. Yasuda also arrives at the pool since the girls have gone home and he is bored now, but he gets dragged back by Miss Sasaki. Shu then gets a cramp and Toru saves him from drowning. He then asks Toru why Sengoku and Miyamura sit out. Toru informs him that is because Sengoku's arm exploded and Miyamura is on his period. Hori praises the weather and how quickly fall has arrived. However, she gets irritated over the fact that Sengoku and Miyamura did not nod along. Turns out, even though the swimming class has gone by, there is another trouble waiting for them. Shu arrives at the student council room with the grouping for sports day, and Sengoku yells as the sports day is coming closer and closer and closer. To avoid the sports day, Sengoku and Miyamura start rainmaking. Toru and Miyamura are on the same team. Team West. Toru asks Sengoku about his team and is delighted to know that his good friend and precious student council president is NOT in his team. Hori and Sengoku are in Team East. So are Yuki and Shu as well. With such people on his team, Sengoku cannot just stay in the corners and do nothing like previous years. Sakura, the shy girl, is also a part of cheerleading team, and she convinces herself that she is do it. Everyone has to do it. Even those without rhythm have to do it. Remy and Sakura are also in Team West with Miyamura and Toru. After Hori tells her that she is on the same team as Toru, she immediately lights up until she realizes that Toru will see his hideous cheerleading as well. Now Sakura is also indulged in rainmaking. On their way back, Hori talks to Miyamura about how Sengoku should act as a president and take part in sports day. However, he is not as energetic as someone named Soda, Miyamura's brother-in-law. She talks Miyamura into participating in the 100 meters race. He asks if Hori will cheer for him if he does so. Hori tells him that of course she would. He then reminds her that they are on different teams. Now even Miyamura is looking forward to the sports day. After school, Sakura is practicing alone on her cheerleading skills, and that's when Yuki runs into her. Sakura tells Yuki that she has no rhythm and forgets the moves, so Yuki, even though happens to be her opponent, helps her to practice. Right, left punch, high up arms, and shake shake shake, and like that, Yuki makes her remember all the moves. Sakura really likes Remy and Sengoku. However, their cooking skills are as bad as Husband from 1970s. That is because they add whatever they find in their dishes. Even while mixing, Remy makes sure that it reaches Sakura's glasses, no matter how far she is standing. Sengoku is uncertain about everything, like this bag labeled salt, but he isn't sure if it really contains salt. Sengoku peels the potato into 2 pieces. Yup, that is peeling to him. Remy's way of holding knife as if she's gonna tatake forces Sakura to keep her away from knife. Meanwhile, Sengoku cuts his finger, so Sakura takes him outside to wash his wound. By using absence of Sakura, Remy adds whatever she could and creates a poisonous dish with menacing aura. It's another cooking class, and today, the class will be cooking curry. For that, Sengoku brought radish and Remy brought tofu. They are both not the ingredients for curry. Sengoku figures it out that all they need to do is put vegetables around the pot, and curry will magically appear. Remy is again banned from using knife. However, Sengoku is peeling so well that Sakura's eyes fill with tears of joy. In fact, he peeled it so well that the entire potato disappeared. Since their class already expected this, they provide them with some of their curry. Remy is now depressed over how she never will be able to cook. Sengoku assures her that when there's will, there's a way. Acting all manly while his pot is on fire. The rice Sakura gave to Remy has turned into porridge now. While eating their mushy rice with thick curry, Remy apologizes to Sakura and compliments her that she will make a great wife. Sakura blushes while Sengoku and Remy are worried that they won't find anyone. Sakura stands up and tells them that in that case, she will look after these two. Sakura, the cool mommy. Yoshikawa hands out the East and West team shirts and is surprised to know that Miyamura is not an S, but an L. L for large. She tells Toru to help her as well, since he is the PA representative as well. He denies. As a result, Yuki throws all the shirts up in air. Miyamura tells Toru that he will be participating in the 100-meter race, and then they pray for Sengoku to participate as well, as it would guarantee their victory. Sengoku, who is still rainmaking. Miyamura pictures Hori in a cheerleading outfit, whereas in reality, she is wearing something totally opposite. During class, Hori notices Miyamura talking to another girl, and the scary, jealous Hori takes over her. A powerful spirit that even Gojo-sensei would struggle with. Later, at Hori's house, Miyamura keeps a safe distance from her and tells her that she only forgot her textbook. The next day, Hori tells Yuki that it wasn't jealousy, she only had a little killing intent. Yuki asks if Hori is a jealousy-type person, but when she sees her in denial, she immediately processes a bunch of replies and goes with the one saying, "Don't mind." As Yuki has to attend a meeting, Hori takes over the painting task. She feels cold, so Mizuchi, who notices her sitting alone, hands her his blazer to cover her legs. Miyamura arrives a few moments later and replaces Mizuchi's blazer with his own sweater. Seeing Mizuchi coming back, he hugs her and puts his blazer back so he does not find out. Meanwhile, Hori is glad that even Miyamura is a type who gets jealous. The sports day begins with motivational speeches by the principal and authorities bringing up the spirits and excitement of the students, but then the host announces the time for the Pledge of Fair Play, and this pledge is to be recited by none other than the self-conscious president of the student council. Sengoku trudges toward the stage with the gloomiest expressions possible, making every student feel the dread he is experiencing by showing his presence at the event. While Sengoku forces words out of himself, Hori pulls Miyamura's sleeve and whispers that it's lucky how the weather is considerably cool, and many people are wearing their zippers, so he doesn't seem the odd one out. Hori then proceeds to gossip about how Sengoku threw a tantrum when he heard Miyamura was willing to try out the day and betrayed Sengoku in his boycott of Sports Day. Miyamura is surprised at the dramatics, but then smiles and shares that he never had a reason to look forward to Sports Day before. But now he has the motivation to beat Hori's team, which makes Hori smile that Miyamura finally has interest in the day. As the games officially begin, everyone has their kind of adrenaline rush. Some are nervous, some are excited, and last is pale and blue Sengoku. Hori and Ayura try to convince Sengoku to take part in the three-legged race, but he just wants to disappear. As the girls' hurdle race is announced, Hori moves to her position where she encounters Remy, who is participating as her opponent in this one. Remy feels nervous racing against Hori since she knows Hori is strong and competent, while she aims to bring down anyone in her way. Remy chooses to beat Hori with a mind game. Remy tells Hori that since Miyamura is cheering for her rather than Hori, he'll belong to her if she wins the race, and proceeds to cutely call her Kyun. This stuns Hori right when the shot for the start of the race is fired, leaving her halted while everyone dashes forward. Hori then tries to catch up and kicks one of the hurdles with all her might for letting Remy mess up with her head. Everyone wonders what happened to Hori while she thinks of how she motivated Miyamura and ended up coming last in her race. Out of nowhere, Miyamura stands up and cheers loudly for Hori, making her get flustered with embarrassment and finish the race as fast as possible, while Miyamura himself sits back all red for letting his intrusive thoughts win and cheering for someone who is in the opponent team. Remy later jokes with Hori about how she easily managed to get her flustered, making Hori get even more embarrassed. But she is interrupted by Miyamura, who asks how she slacked all of a sudden, making her scream that it was his fault, which freaks the poor concerned boy out, but he asks why she sped up at the end, which earns him another scream and blame. Before proceeding to the next round, she calms down and thanks him for cheering for her, as it made her happy. Swada turns out to be in Miyamura's team, but calls out to Hori in excitement, asking her to cheer for her. Miyamura cheers for Swada, making her glare at him for one moment, but then she grinned at the cheer. Miyamura smiles at that, mentioning how he thought he cheered too loud, but Toru tells her that everyone likes having someone root for them. Miyamura smiles that he has not been involved in such moments before, while Toru teases him to cheer more for his team than the opposing one. As the race began, Toru's teammates cheer loud for him, while Ayure's teammates sent him more of a warning than a cheer to win the race. While passing through the obstacles, Ayure mentions how Toru is lucky to have girls cheering for him, making him joke at how they have a high-pitched Miyamura in those cheers too, but deep down, he is happy about Miyamura being so invested and loud. When the cheer competition begins, Team East appears wearing jackets rather than the usual cheer dress, leaving the boys shocked at the sight, while the girls gush over how cool the team is. Team West cheers in their usual dresses, so obviously the guys like their performance more than the jacket girls. The boys are amused at Miyamura's reaction to seeing Hori in a jacket. Rather, he covers his face in disappointment as he wanted to see Hori wearing that outfit. The boy from Team West dropped out last minute, so the teacher asks Miyamura to cover for him, surprising him as he was not welcomed and needed on any previous sports day, while this one has people rooting for him and wanting to see him participating, healing another broken part of his past life as an outcast. The scavenger hunt is the only event that is code, and as the race begins, Hori is looking for a letter when she touches the same letter that Miyamura is about to pick up. She is surprised to see him in the race, but after knowing the reason, they choose different letters, and both start to look around in extreme panic. Meanwhile, Yoshikawa randomly grabs her teacher, Yasuda, and excitedly marches with him, ready to reach the finish line first, when he gets awkward after reading that she had to choose someone suspicious, and Kono and Toru are intrigued at how weirdly Miyamura and Hori are looking for someone when they notice Sengoku sitting beside them, who proudly tells them that he was almost forced to participate in substitution, but managed to slip away. Suddenly, both his arms are grabbed by Miyamura and Hori, who grab him that he needs to come with them as they need him. They come in last after dragging a freaked-out Sengoku. Sengoku notices that Hori had to bring in the class president, while Miyamura had to grab someone skinny, making Miyamura almost lose his life to someone's skinny hand. Next, the cavalry battle between the boys begins. Miyamura and Sengoku turn out to be the ones who will ride and try to steal each other as headbands. Yura tries to cheer Sengoku up, but of course, that's a lost cause. Sengoku feels excited after sitting on his team's shoulders and thinking of actually winning this. He ends up facing Miyamura and tries to grab his band, but Miyamura dodges all his approaches. Sengoku wipes his sweat, as if in an actual battle, and calls out that the opponent can dodge them like the wind, while Ayura is unamused, since Sengoku wasn't that slick while attacking, and anyone could dodge his slow and tiny attempts. Toru tells Miyamura that he feels at his limit, so Miyamura should win this fast, making him think with consideration for his teammates, who are carrying him while Toru and Ayura are having a serious conversation about how their noses itch, but they can use their hands. Miyamura turns his face unreadable and asks Sengoku about the girl who's been sitting on his shoulders. The sullen expressions make Sengoku scream and look at his shoulder, which gives Miyamura easy access to Sengoku's headband, and he steals it swiftly. Even though Team West had a lead by the afternoon, they end up losing the competition, making Remy a bit sad. Miyamura walks out of the washroom after examining his sunburnt nose when he notices Hori running through the corridor in her actual cheer uniform. Miyamura puts his sunburnt nose to use and fakes a smile that she looked good in the jacket and the boys' uniform when cheering for them, while he wanted to see her in the skirt. Miyamura feels happy that she was there, cheering and rooting for him the whole day, while Horai laughs and rants about the day, and then proceeds to mimic Remy by asking if she looks cute. Her laugh turns into a blush when Miyamura smiles and tells her she's not just cute, but super cute. A flustered Hori runs away, smiling after calling him stupid, while Miyamura smiles at the sunset, thinking of how his first and last sports day was indeed fun. Hori and Miyamura are preparing for their upcoming test, while Soda is busy doing his soda stuff. Miyamura wants to get a medical excuse, but Hori corrects him that he cannot skip a test with some medical excuse. Kyosuke tries to get into the Kotatsu but gets insulted by his daughter, who tells her that this house only belongs to her, Soda, their mother, and Miyamura. For Kyosuke, this is the usual stuff, so he doesn't bother. Miyamura wakes up and notices that Kotatsu's spell has knocked everyone to sleep. He needs to go to the bathroom but gets smacked down. While they were sleeping, Kotatsu-Kun laid another trap. All their legs are entangled now, and if Horai moves, Miyamura feels the pain. Kyosuke wakes up, and when Kyosuke moves, Hora's leg gets twisted. And if Miyamura moves, it's Kyosuke who feels the pain. Kotatsu-Kun managed to create a cruel world where everyone has to hurt each other. Now they are devising a plan. They review the situation and one of them needs to be sacrificed. The world is in chaos now, and the first one to lose hope and fall back to sleep is Kyosuke. The poor guy's controller got disconnected. Miyamura remembers Commander Irwin's speech, so he keeps moving forward. He is the first one to make it out, and the crisis is finally over. To avoid this situation from happening again, Miyamura suggests sleeping in the same direction. The next day, Miyamura decides that he will go home at 7 since he couldn't last night. They still have an hour, but what they don't know is that 1 hour is enough for Kotatsu-Kun. Within 6 minutes, both Hori and Miyamura fell asleep. Meanwhile, Kyosuke runs into Sengoku. Sengoku immediately remembers his father's advice. No matter what happens, he should always ignore the Horus. To avoid trouble, Sengoku tries to run away from this evil man who seems to have evil thoughts for Sengoku's father. However, Kyosuke holds his arm and abducts him. Hori wakes up at 12 am. After 5 hours, and is surprised to see Sengoku sleeping in the Kotatsu as well. She wakes Miyamura up, who seems to be indulged in a dungeon fight. Even Sengoku is with him on this mission, and he suggests buying some MP recovery items. Hora wakes them up by saying encounter, and Sengoku is terrified to see a golem in front of him. Only that golem is Miyamura's girlfriend. Kyosuke is here to save the day with his hero party. Sengoku tells them that he got abducted and hence he's here. He shares he hasn't even taken a bath yet. One thing leads to another, and now Sengoku is wondering why Miyamura is trying to hide by always avoiding a bath with others. Now Miyamura is again sleeping at their place under Kotatsu-Kun's spell. Hori notices his phone vibrating and sees Shindo's long messages. Hori doesn't know that he sent those by mistake and is now losing her mind over this extremely romantic message that ends with I love you. Hori tries to wake Miyamura up, but by saying Shindo's name in his sleep, he gets a well-deserving punch. Miyamura notices Hori faking sleep, so he forces her to get up using oranges. But Hori wants to avoid citrus fruits, even though she loves them. Smooth Miyamura tells her that if she doesn't eat, he will kiss her. If she does eat, he will still kiss her. Now she's all happy and blushy. Remember the candy kiss? This time it's a Mikan kiss. Hori is now worried that Miyamura does this by habit and might have done this with Shindo as well. Toru and Miyamura are looking at Sengoku's childhood pictures. Just when he tries to hide an album, he gets overpowered. Miyamura is enjoying the pictures until he sees Hora's childhood picture, and now he's labeled as a lolicon. Just then, Sengoku turns this awkward situation into an awkward Ultra Pro Max situation by asking if Hori still changes in front of other people. Just the other day, she changed in the student council room in front of Sengoku, saying that it doesn't bother her, but she got angry when Sengoku asked if she changes casually in front of Miyamura as well. Sengoku does not realize that Hori thinks of him as nothing more than a slave. At the convenience store, Hori bumps into Sengoku. Surprisingly, Sengoku seems like he came from the future, but turns out that it's Sengoku's father. He even senses the menacing aura coming from this Hirai Jr., but when he meets Miyamura, he senses a good-hearted boy. He immediately takes the liberty to warn him about the Hora family so he could stay safe from their corruption. Hora's parents and Sengoku's father went to the same high school. Miyamura is shocked to hear that Hori thinks of her parents as ordinary and normal. Back at Hora's place, Kyosuke and Sengoku Sr. are having a face-to-face battle with Sengoku Jr. in the middle. Poor Kakeru wants to be saved. Gladly, Miyamura and Hori arrive and sit by Kakeru's side. Turns out, Kakeru and his father ran into Kyosuke and got abducted. Kyosuke tells him that Miyamura is Hora's boyfriend. Sengoku's father tells him that his son has no time for such things. Yeah, he has no idea that Kakeru is dating Remi. Unfortunately, Hori now knows that Kakeru's relationship is a secret, and now she's having lots of evil ideas. However, Kakeru is more worried about this baka on his left who would mistakenly sprout the truth. Kyosuke and Sengoku are back fighting over how Kakeru should be able to date. Now they are throwing their embarrassing memories at each other, like how Sengoku forgot lunch. So Kyosuke bought him 80 yen bread and took 100 yen from him. Or when Kyosuke didn't appear in the exam because someone stole his bike's front wheel and he didn't bother to walk. Now, Kyosuke tries to convince Sengoku that they are best friends, but Sengoku would never be friends with someone who sneezed during his speech as student council president. The odds of Kyosuke's son-in-law pulling off the same prank. Hori brings the conversation back to Kakeru's girlfriend, and Miyamura concludes that Sengokus are still at the mercy of Horace. The Sengokus can't be helped. Miyamura is worried about the test, while Hori is still eating lots of oranges. She then starts feeding Miyamura and realizes that it's just like feeding an animal and wants to give him another. You know how many people lick their fingers after eating? Yeah, Miyamura is one of them. Only this time, it was Horace's fingers, but that didn't stop him. Miyamura be shifting between being very bold or very italic. The episode ends here, but keep in mind, the Sengokus can't be helped.